Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Eclectic Witch. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking specifically about using playing cards as divination tools. So the last video I made was about oracle cards, and I wanted to do another video on divination, but a different method using playing cards. Because playing cards are, they're available everywhere. They're very cheap, and if you're a closet witch, it's great to get into because if they're laying out on the table, someone's not going to be looking at you like, what are you doing with those? Are you messing with the devil? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we're just going to be right into it. So, I want to be talking about how do we use playing cards for divination? How do you take care of playing cards as a magical tool? And all that stuff. So we're just going to be right into it. So I actually have two decks that I use for divination playing cards in my practice. I have just a regular standard deck. My mom gave these to me a long time ago. They're actually very worn. If you look at the edges, they have some discoloration, which I don't mind. But the backs are Wells Fargo. But that's not why I use them, because they're pretty. I use them because my mom gave them to me, and I've had these forever, and I've always get accurate readings from them. So, and then the other deck I got, the art playing cards, they're a little bit different. I got these gifted from a friend at the time, and they're different because one, the back, these are called the Gypsy playing cards. You can actually get these on Amazon, I believe. They're like 10 something, I believe. I'll have to check. I'll post everything I'm talking about, links and in-depth info that I talk about in this video in the description box below, as always. But these playing cards are different because they actually have meanings on each of the cards. So you don't need any booklets. You don't need to understand the numerology behind each card, what each suit means. It just tells you in depth what each card already means. So that's a good option if you just want to get straight into playing cards, but without, getting heavy into the learning. But I didn't have these at first. So I had to learn a little bit of numerology, what each of the suits stand for, what they mean, and so forth. So, but first I want to talk about how do you take care of playing cards as a magical tool before I get in depth with how to use them. So just like any card deck that you use for your spiritual practice, you're going to want to make sure that they are cleansed. So you can use a bell, use sound to cleanse your cards, or you can use just some incense if you like, or you can have them sit outside. Like for the full moon tonight, I plan on charging my crystals and my athame. Well, you could do the same thing for your card decks. Like there's many different ways of cleansings, but I like using sound, light, and incense the most. So, and if you don't have access to those, you also you should have access to light, like sunlight or moonlight, but you can also place crystals on top of your decks as well. Now once they are cleansed and charged, you're going to want to keep them clean. So I like to keep mine wrapped up. I put like a little band on it or a hair tie or whatever, and I wrap them up. And then I wrap them in a cloth to keep them from being, to keep them from absorbing other energies from around them or negative energies from around them. So, yeah, so you're going to want to cleanse them, possibly charge them, and just keep them from, absorbing all that negative energy. So that's how you take care of cards generally. I had a more in-depth of how to take care of cards in my Oracle video, so feel free to check that out. But let's get into the actual knowledge of playing cards. So I'm going to try to get out each of the suits for you guys so you guys can have a physical representation of each of these. Trying to find, okay, here we go. All right, so I actually do have notes about playing cards in my book here. This is like my little fun book, about what each of the suits mean, the basic numerology behind them, because numerology is like a whole different topic on itself. And then I actually have in-depth of what each card means. Now, I'm going to be talking about all of this in this video, except for the in-depth of each individual card, because you got to remember, there's like 54 cards in a deck, I believe, and that would make this video way too long. But I will post links about what the cards individually means Because if I type this all out, this is going to take forever. And then, but like I said, all the in-depth information that I talk about in this video will be in the description box below. But I'm going to be looking to the side to refer to my book to be talking to you guys. So let's talk about what the suit of hearts mean. Not the number, the suit. So hearts. If you pull a card from hearts, hearts is the same equivalent in tarot as cups. They represent emotions, feelings, relationships, and the home. Hearts are associated with the element of water. So I like to think of hearts as, oh, it's connected to water because emotions. So that's how I remember the suit of hearts. Clubs. Clubs is the equivalent of the tarot suit of wands. They represent action, passion, money, inspiration, and creativity. Clubs is associated with the element of fire. Now, diamonds, which I always like getting. Diamonds are equivalent to the suit of pentacles. They are related to the material world, all that we see and touch. They cover such areas as practicalities, work-related affairs, career, and dealing with affairs out of the house. Now, diamonds can also represent practical aspects of relationships. Diamonds are associated with the element of earth. Now, spades. I always get a little jumpy when I see spades because, well, you're about to find out. So spades are equivalent to the tarot suit of swords. They are connected to thinking, communication, truth, intellect, roadblocks to your path and other difficulties that could be a problem. All the activity that goes in our minds, such as our head stuff. And spades are associated with air. So I don't like getting spades because whenever I pull spades for myself or someone else, it's always like, what roadblocks or what mental blocks do you have for yourself? It's always like a warning, like, hey, you need to pay attention to this. This is preventing you from getting to where, ABC, where you want to go and whatnot. So we talked about the suits, what each of those means. Now we're going to talk about the Joker card of the deck, which would be this. So the Joker. This is dealing with innocence and unknowing. This represents the tarot fool. The fool is numberless. He is uninformed consciousness that journeys through the tarot, undergoing transformation, self-understanding, challenges, and generally educating himself through experiences. So the positive aspect of this card is dealing with, oh, you're taking a risk. You're taking that leap of faith. But the negative aspect of this card is you're probably doing something foolish. So you always have to, keep the negative and the positive of the cards in mind. So, like, when you think of, if you're familiar with tarot, some people read them, inverted or reversed, whatnot. But playing cards, they already have that. They have the right way and inverted, so you can read it just as together, just whatever you sense it to be, which is what I like about playing cards. So now let's move on to the numerology aspect of the cards. Now this is just basic numerology. Like I said, numerology is like a whole topic within itself. So if you want to learn more in depth about it, I definitely suggest you do, because it will help you not just with divination, like tarot or playing cards, but also just other aspects of your magical practice. But this is just basic, fast information about some numerology. So this is about your aces or your 1 through 10 in the playing card deck, not your jacks, queens, and kings. This is just the numbers. So aces means new beginnings, new opportunities, potential stuff. 2 deals with balance, partnership, duality. 3 deals with creativity, groups, collaborations, growth. 4 is dealing with structure, stability, manifestation. 5 is all about change, instability, possibly some conflict. 6 deals with communication, cooperation, and harmony. 7 is dealing with reflection, assessment, and knowledge. 8 is dealing with mastery, action, and accomplishment. 9 is dealing with fruition, attainment, and fulfillment. And 10 is all about completion, renewal, the end of a cycle. So now let's move into card spreads. Now, sadly, I don't have like a GoPro where I can like show you what I'm doing, so I'm just going to describe this the best I can. So you have your playing cards deck. You're shuffling them, you already cleansed them. Maybe you lit a candle and some incense, whatever. So you're like, okay, I want to have a quick answer to a question. Like, for example, will this guy like ask me out or whatever? How will me and this guy go? Is he my soulmate? Like, it's like a fast yes or no or a quick answer that you can get. So for questions like that, I should just pull in like a single card out. So I have the King of Hearts, which would be a good card to get if you were doing like a love reading, obviously. But yeah, so if you want to do quick answer readings like for yourself, just pick a single card for your reading, especially as a beginner. Now, if you want something a little, more in depth, you can still get fast answers, but you can do a 3-card spread. So going from left to right, obviously. You could be doing your left one could be past, your middle one would be present, and then the last one will be future. So from left to right, that's how I read my cards. So a 3-card spread would be past, present, future, from left to right. Now, if you want to do that spread but have more in depth than just 1 card for each, you can do a 9-card spread, but in 3 rows. So from left to right, like I said, it would be the first row would be past, the middle row would be present, and then the last layer would be future. So like 3 rows of 3 for a 9-card spread. Now, if you want an even more in-depth card spread, you could pull 21 cards, 3 rows of 7, and read them like that. But that's more like, once you get the hang of playing cards, obviously. So now let's talk about the jacks, the queens, and the kings real quick. So I like to think of the jacks as, like the person that calls to action. This could be like a friend or a family member or even like a crush, a person of interest that just wants to help you, like a mentor. The queen is more of like the divine feminine aspect, like, like the motherly nurturing, coming to you for emotional support and all that. And then the king is the masculine aspect, like the father aspect, who's more knowing, more wise, and more stern usually. Now, if you have a king and a queen together in a reading, this usually represents, a couple, especially if it's the suit of hearts. Now, if you have a love reading and you have the queen and the jack, this could be your potential crush who you want to pursue and courting you, and then you would be the queen or the king, whatever case it may be. Like I said, I'm going to be posting all in-depth information about playing cards in the description box below. Besides that, all that really is left to talk about is either the history or the in-depth of each of the cards. But like I said, that would be way too long for this video. But I do have them in my book. I color-coded it so I could just have easy access because I do love using playing cards in my practice. But I will post links if you do want to get into playing cards and have the in-depth for all those. But that's it, you guys. That I talked about the majority of what I wanted to say. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Whatever deck you choose, whether it be the Gypsy playing cards deck that already has the information on the cards, or if you want to do the more traditional way of playing cards, I'll have links and information about that down below. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and the next video I'll do about divination will most likely be either tarot or scrying. Now, scrying is more natural to me. I use it more often. I'm still learning tarot, but I will explain what I do know of it. I'm not going to be shooting no videos that I don't know nothing about, or posting videos I don't know nothing about, but I will share what I do know because I'm still learning. I do have to go to the book sometimes or look some stuff up, but I do know like a basic basis that I could talk to you guys about. But scrying, I could do all day, any day, and whatnot. But I'll leave that information for the next video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your feedback. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on Facebook. I do have a Facebook page dedicated for this channel that you guys can reach me out on, but I also use that page for giving readings to you guys or giving you guys advice. So I do have, I'm going to post that on the description box below. That Facebook page, not only you guys can talk to me and message me about just even chatting, or if you want to request readings for me or whatnot, but feel free to check that out. Thank you guys, and blessed be.